What's up? It's been a while since I've been on here, and I just wanted to drop in to try to stay somewhat consistent with this YouTube channel. I know when I dropped a video, the last one was probably for 2, 3 months ago, maybe less than that. But I promised myself that I would be more consistent, and here I am. Every time I drop a video, I always say this, but I'm gonna try to make more of an effort to come on here to just speak what's been on my mind and share my thoughts and feelings, and that's what I'm doing here now. Anyways, life's been lifing. Life has been lifing. Excuse me, I believe that's the ghetto bird passing by because I do live in North Long Beach, California, so that's a common occurrence is to have the police helicopter go by in the ghetto. We call that the ghetto bird because that's one of the few things that's flying in the air. Anywho, got a little sidetracked, but living your truth. That's what the title of this video is living your truth. And for the past 2 years, I have been living my truth. And what is my truth? My truth is that I am who I am, and my appearance is the way it is because that's part of me. For my entire life, I tried to hide my true self. I lived a lie. How did I live a lie? I hid from the fact that there is something clearly obvious. There is something abundantly apparent that there's an issue, that there's a deformity, oddity, whatever term you want to coin it, with my right eye. And for the longest time, I tried to hide from this. I hid by wearing a prosthetic contact lens. When I was 18, 19, I put in a scleral shell that was pretty much like putting a sliced, hollowed out marble into your eye. I don't know how anyone with an existing natural eye can comfortably wear that, because I couldn't wear it for no longer than 2 hours. And throughout my 20s, I got the soft prosthetic contact lens, which I was able to tolerate. Of course, it didn't look right, because my eyes aren't exactly really aligned. So it would always look turned out, and it just looked like I had a major lazy eye, and it looked funky still, but it did give me some confidence. It, drew less attention to my eye than how I currently look naturally without wearing a prosthetic contact lens. So that gave me a little bit of confidence, so I continued wearing it. And despite giving me confidence, I was still self-conscious about it. I still had it in the back of my mind. Every time I made eye contact with someone, I would still kind of see them shifting from eye to eye, because obviously they knew that there was something wrong with my right eye, and it would still cause the self-esteem issues that not wearing a contact would cause. So it took until 33, 34, no, let me take that back. It took until I was 35 years old to reveal myself to the world by starting my Instagram page, Icon Fitness, where I claim to live my truth by being okay with my eye. That was the stepping stone. Starting that page, posting pictures, posting videos of me looking exactly how I look now, gave me the confidence, gave me the belief that I had nothing to hide, that I am who I am, that I don't look as freakishly as my mind portrays myself to be. And since then, I haven't worn that contact lens once. Anywho's, like I shared on previous videos, a lot of this is going to be raw, unscripted, off the top of the dome rants. That's kind of what I've been doing now. If you've been able to keep up this whole time, you're a champion. But anyways, what prompted me to make this video, Living Your Truth, is since everything I just mentioned, I've been going about my day-to-day looking exactly how I look now. And what compensates and gives me confidence for looking like this is my character, is my attitude, and is the way I conduct myself. I walk around back straight, head high, chest out. Good posture, good demeanor. I make sure that I'm presentable. I keep up with my hygiene. I dress well. I make sure that my clothes is ironed and straight. Pretty much the way I carry myself takes away from the fact that I have one eye. I have a messed up eye. So when people meet me, of course, their first impression is like, "Oh shit, what's up with this eye? What's up with this eye?" But when they hear me speak, when they hear how respectful I am, when they see the way I carry myself and notice that I have a sense of self-worth, then pretty much their thoughts and questions about my eye kind of go out the window. And to give you an example, on Wednesdays, I work a job at a college where I'm a recruit training officer. So I'm essentially kind of like part of the staff. And I went upstairs to the administrative offices to ask one of the secretaries a question. And I've been working there since last year. I've dealt with this particular secretary dozens of times. And today she's like, "Hey, I never noticed your eye." I don't know if she was lying or not. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but it kind of sounded genuine. "Hey, I never noticed your eyes. Are you wearing like a contact or something?" Or I was just like, "No, that's just the way it is. It's part of God's plan." And we kind of went into a discussion about it, but as I was speaking about it, I felt a sense of empowerment. Whereas in the past, if someone asked me about my eye, I would freeze. I would freeze, my heart would kind of drop, and I would kind of get a sense of anxiety, feel shame, and just have these feelings that I felt as a kid when I hated myself, when I had a victim mentality, when I always questioned God and questioned the universe of why I have to live like this. But since I started my fitness page and kind of had this shift in perspective, kind of had this shift in how I view myself, it's been getting a little easier every time the question comes up. And today, when it came up, I didn't feel that feeling of anxiety. It was more of I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to speak about how this is part of who I am. This was my upbringing. This was truly God's plan because it made me who I am today. And she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I never noticed." And I figured, because she asked, what happened? Can you see out of it? I told her I was completely blind, and she said, "Oh, I would have never guessed. Like, you just carry yourself so well, and I figure you're teaching at a law enforcement academy, so I figure you're a cop or whatnot." And pretty much just reassured me that people aren't really thinking about my eye. They just know me for who I am. So I say all of that to say you have to accept your flaws, quote unquote flaws. Whatever it is that you feel about yourself that causes insecurity, that causes depression, that causes you to feel like you're inadequate or inferior to others, just own it. Especially if it's something that's out of your control. Your height, the way your nose is shaped, your receding hairline. If there's something that you can do that'll give you more confidence, like me originally wearing that contact, then go ahead and do it. But the best thing that you can do is just accept it and own it. You're not gonna change your height overnight. So the best way to own these things that are out of your control is to work on other areas that are within your control. Your appearance, your fitness, your character, your attitude. By me improving upon these areas throughout the years, I've created a person who conducts himself in a manner to where he is highly regarded. Today was prime example when she asked, she's like, "Oh, I just noticed that today. I mean, I've seen you all these times." And I mean, like I said, I'm sure she probably did, but today she felt the need to ask about it. And I don't know. It just felt good speaking about it today, and it feels good to hear that people aren't thinking that about me every time they see me. It's probably in the back of their head. It's probably a thought, of course, but they see me for who I am and not how I appear. A lot of pauses in this, but it's going to be raw, uncut, no editing. Just want to share what's on my mind. So this is kind of a brain dump, visual or virtual diary, to say the least. And I'm going to come here and fucking say this every fucking time, but I'm going to try to be more consistent. And if you're watching this, if you're interested, if you gained any value and have any interest on my views about anything, want to hear more about my past, want to hear some advice that I have to give about becoming a different version of yourself, drop them in the comments below and I'll try to make videos addressing different topics that helped me, because I have come a long way. I am more successful in areas that I never thought I would become successful at, and I feel like I'm at that age where I'm figuring out who I am, owning who I am, and my purpose in this life is to help those that were in the position that I was previously in, and that was someone who was lost, confused, and just constantly wallowing in pity and self-doubt and insecurities and just a lack of faith and a lack of belief in themselves. That's all I got for now. I appreciate anyone if you watch this all the way through. I know it's a lot of word salad mumbo jumbo, but I truly appreciate you.